Building is a buzzword that gets used all the time in the crypto space, but I happen to believe that it's also the biggest opportunity in a new industry like this. The secret is just that I genuinely love and believe in this, and I refuse to quit. Whether that's stubbornness, arrogance, passion, or some combination of all of it, I don't know. A combination is the most likely. But really, it's been just piecemeal. It's just been failing repeatedly at a higher and higher level and putting the winning pieces together to go back in and fail again. Now, all of the traditional business stuff is included, right? Having to learn how to establish LLCs and expense things properly and keep track of all of the costs and tracking overhead and working with a team and building a team and inspiring people and all of this stuff. It's all there, underpinned, of course, by just a constant desire to learn more, to continue to grow my own personal knowledge base, because that's the foundation of what all of this platform is built on, is sharing that knowledge base and the experience of learning with people who are also curious. The funny thing is that it started with content and now it has culminated with content. I have repeatedly failed at multiple different startups, some of which I still have the bits and pieces of, some of which I would still like to kind of reincorporate later when I have better resources and more experience and the ability, because I think I was a little ahead of myself sometimes. But at the middle of it all, almost said crux again, at the middle of it all was the content. And, that's Evan and I never lost that. And so for years, we've been creating content, documenting all these different stages. And so what is Rise Up Media sort of evolved out of that almost accidental layer to all of this. The fact that no matter what we failed at, we were always making content at the same time. And because of that, I always had a group of people that cared and were interested in what we were doing to stay tuned. And that the value of that cannot be overstated. I think there's a lot of ingredients that have contributed to whatever amount of success I have currently managed to achieve. And, for the record, I would not call that a ton. I do consider myself extremely successful when I think about how many people have personally reached out to me and said that they learned something or that I demystified some topic for them. Every single time I get one of those, it means so much. It's so reaffirming. It's tough, honestly, to find the words to describe it. It means a lot. It means more than I can say. Conferences have been a huge contributing piece of that. And I think that if you're in an industry like this, it's worth it to go to one. And there are so many, don't spend a gajillion dollars to fly to a different country and go to some massive one. There are some that are better than others. It's true, but you will figure out a lot by just going to something and seeing how the industry works, because there's a lot of people here that really never come out and talk to anybody. And you find those people at conferences. So as far as like building conviction, as far as understanding the industry, how it works, the ebb and flow, the trends, like all that sort of stuff, all of that, not all of it, most of it has come from conferences. So if you have one that's like nearby, I would say even like just go to the city where it's being hosted. Don't spend your money on an overpriced ticket and then get in there and kind of feel lost. Go to the place where it's going to be and then spend some time on social media. For this particular thing, you're definitely going to want to look at Twitter in and around that event and see people talking about it, and then find free events to go to around the conference. Those are way better as far as like time spent than spending hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars on a ticket. If we're talking about specific ones though, Consensus is the one that I make sure that I make time to go to every single year. Permissionless is a good one. Token 2049 is a good one. There's a few. There's a bunch too that are like more specific. Solana's got Breakpoint, they've got Accelerate, but those are also more niched down. And then there's also a series of Bitcoin conferences. But my experience is that those are, unless you're just like trying to work in mining or you're trying to work in custody or you really want to do something Bitcoin specific, it's tough to carve out an audience there for anything else. If you're just generally curious about the whole industry and working here in general, I would probably avoid those. At the end of the day, I've spent thousands of hours working specifically on this idea of building a successful business in a new burgeoning industry like Web3. And I would say that the first thing that you should do is start posting content. You should start, because the industry lives on social media. And two distinct pieces. In my experience, most of the people who are interested in learning about it and discovering new things for the first time and becoming, stewards of their own data, their own money, all that sort of stuff, they're here. They're on TikTok, mostly. And then the industry itself is on Twitter, mostly. There's exceptions. There's little fringe pockets elsewhere. LinkedIn's got some stuff, all that good stuff. But like at the end of the day, if you want to do business style networking and B2B, business to business, that's Twitter. And if you want to do B2C, business to consumer, that's here on TikTok. I really want this specific topic to be a big piece of our community and the learning that we offer. So if you want to learn more about building a business, if you want to learn about how to network, if you want to learn about getting funded, applying for grants, applying for investors, meeting venture capital firms and all that sort of stuff, this is what I've been doing for years, is literally just meeting people and expanding my network. And so I'm looking to add that as a service here, help with that, kind of like a mini accelerator. It's going to be baked into this new cohort model that we're looking at running. So if you're interested in that, let me know. I would like to start collecting kind of like wait lists or, interested people's, contacts and stuff. So the Discord is free. I would jump in there and at least voice that you're interested in it. Let me know, or just leave me a comment, shoot me an email, all that good stuff.